Okay, so I am Mr. English. This is Math 143, section WRM2, Quantitative Literacy. Glad you signed up for it. Hopefully it'll be a quick and painless experience. That's not what I meant to do. I'm rusty. Clear, there we go. All right, so let's go to the Moodle class and let's pull up the syllabus first. Then we'll kind of backtrack and go through everything else. All right, so the syllabus has its own section. You just click on that, you scroll down, and you click there. Let me get the right screen on there. Let's switch over. Okay, yeah, so just click on that to pull up the syllabus. It has a completion tracker on it. Don't worry about that. You won't need it. Ian, yeah, hop up here on the end of this second row there. Ian, that computer's already on. All righty. Now, one thing that Chrome did that I really don't care for is that they moved downloads up here to the top, in the top right corner. They used to show up across the bottom, which was great, but now they've hid it up here at the top. So most of my files, like this, or the conversion chart, or the handouts that show you the questions and things, they'll pop up as a download, and it'll be up here with this blue button, just to let you know, because we've had a lot of updates on things this year. All right. All righty. First week of class, you know, Moodle always drags a little bit because it's got a high volume on it, and it's just one of those deals. Okie doke. So, if you have it pulled up on your screen, great. If you don't, can everybody see this? Do I need to zoom it in? Everybody good? All right. So this at the top is just my basic information in my office. You've actually passed it when you walked in here. It's on the left, right as you come into this classroom. My phone extension's on there. My office times, I have them on Monday and Wednesday and Tuesday and Thursday. Longer bout on Tuesdays and Thursdays. All right, we don't need that summer part. Okay, so here's the red tape. If you're in this class, that means that you've gotten out of Math 003, Tier 1 and Tier 2. You took it and got the right grade, or you had a GPA that got you out of it, or you had a placement test that knocked you out of it too. Co-requisite. If you are in the co-requisite class, based upon your individual requirements, that means that you have this class and you have the 043 class with Miss Wilson. All right. There is work to do for both of those. I just want to get that out of the way right now, because every year we have an issue with students either just doing mine and not doing hers, or vice versa. So you have to keep up in both, because that class does have a separate grade. And if you don't pass that one, you got to take this one again, and that one. So you got to make sure that you tread water in that one. Okay, so the textbook is provided. It's a PDF file that's embedded in the Moodle class. We'll get to that later. Mainly because it is an old book. Well, I say old. It's really not that old, but given its publishing date, it's a little hard to find, because it's almost 10 years old. And in textbook years, that's worse than dog years. So we went with a tangible book in the spring. Some people didn't get it delivered to them until March. So we just said, well, you know what? We've got a PDF. We'll just use that. There is a supplemental textbook that I forgot to bring because it's at my house. My daughter was using it. But I'll bring it on Monday. Supplemental, of course, means you don't have to get it. It's helpful, though, because the way that we do like percent problems and things like that does match up with that book pretty well. And this book is very, very cheap. The last time I looked, I think it was only like $15 at most, and it's tiny. It's about that big. And if you have children that are about to go into middle school or already in middle school, this is a great aid for them as well. Scientific calculator. I have some scientific calculators up here. They do not leave this room, and I've only got 10 of them. And there's 11 of you. So it helps, of course, too, when you're working on your own, to get your own. You don't need a graphing calculator for this class. You really only need those for like 152 maybe, but definitely 171. Okay, the course description. Not going to read through all that. I'll let you do that on your own. But basically, if you've signed up for this class, you've probably asked somebody about it or talked to someone about it that's been through it before. Yeah, it's a lot of word problems. It is. It's real world word problems and situations that you have to go through. But I promise you there's enough resources to get you through that, so you'll be okay. The objectives, these are our state learning outcomes. So we've got to, check each one of those off as we go throughout the year, and we will. We'll be okay. All right, so instructions for the types of course deliveries that you have. This one that you're in right now is web-based, okay? In a web-based course, attendance is required, means 2 days a week, but while you're in here, you're participating, you're taking notes, you're following along. And then when you go home or go to wherever you go to do your work, then you can work on your assignments. Or you can come to our math center, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. But just covering that. Okay, assignments. This is the one, that everybody wants to see. So each week, and I'll just skip ahead to one of the weeks to show you. Each week, there are 2 parts available, okay? There's a work entry portion and an answer entry portion, all right? Now, I use the points-based system, which means that you literally get what you get. The work that you put in, that's the grade you get. No questions asked, ifs or buts or arguments about it, right? Well, the work entry ones, which are like quiz formatted, you absolutely have to do those. They're non-negotiable. You have to do them. However, if that's all you do, you will not pass. You're going to have to put some extra work in on the answer entries. Or sorry, I said that backwards. The work entries are voluntary. And all that is just what it sounds. You do your work, all right, handwritten. For the love of God, don't type it up. I've dealt with people in the past. I have sent them messages till I'm blue in the face. You got a 0 on this because you typed it up. It's supposed to be handwritten. Next week, what'd they do? Typed it up again. So that's just, please handwrite it. I had someone in the online section yesterday ask me, all I did for the work entry, I did my work on paper, took a picture of it, uploaded it. That's it. That's all you got to do. You can take a picture of it and upload it. You can scan it if you have a scanner. But the one thing I do want to try to shy you away from, I know that laptops and notebooks have cameras. They are terrible, okay? I had students in the spring, they took pictures with their laptops, and I get it, is all they had. I understand. But, if you have a smartphone or a webcam, it's so much better. Even a phone. Most people just take a picture of it with their phone and upload it. All right, so just do that or scan it. But laptop camera, please try not to do that. But yeah, the answer entries you have to do. The work entries are optional, but you're going to have to do some of them to get a passing grade. All right. So I know that's very cruel of me to do, but I have more students this semester than I have ever had since I started working here, and I used to make both of those mandatory. And I got absolutely nothing done on Tuesdays and Thursdays except grading papers. And my eyes were about to fall out of my head. So I had to come up with something. So yeah, like we mentioned, it's a points-based system, which means, like we said, however many points you get, that's the points you get. So, you don't do a work entry, fine. You don't get those points. You don't do an answer entry, you don't get those points either. But the answer entry, remember, those are required. And if you miss so many of those, I will take you out of the class. That's not a me thing, that's a Tri-County thing. Okay? If we don't, no free rides, so to speak. So grading. There are a total of 2,000 possible points in the class. Okay? If you just did the answer entries alone, you'll only get 1,025, which you can see is an F. Okay? So you don't have to do all the entries, but you need to do some of them. Okay? To get to a C, which is the minimum of transferable credit, you need to get at least 1,400 points. Okay? That's not unattainable. All right? If those that fall into the D and F category, historically speaking, folks that fell behind, didn't do anything for like 3 weeks, didn't make anything up whenever I told you you can make it up, didn't do any late work, went inactive and didn't tell me, and then I dropped them, and then it's like, a horse stepped on my foot and I was in the hospital for 3 weeks or something, which nobody's told me that. But I mean, I've been teaching for nearly 20 years. I've heard a lot. All right. So if you know that you're going to miss a deadline, it's in your best interest to let me know ahead of time, and then I'll try to work with you. But don't go inactive and then have me drop you, and then you panic because then you realize, oh, I was in a college transfer class. Maybe I should have done my work and not, slept till 11 o'clock and then realized I should have been doing some work. All right. So just keep up with it. Check it every week. Labs will open, typically they'll open every week on Monday, and they'll be due the following Tuesday of the next week. So you should have at most 8 days to get stuff turned in, unless it's like up against a major holiday, like our fall break or Thanksgiving or something like that. Then it'll just be like a week. But yeah, so there it is. If you want to get this letter grade, you know how much work that you got to do. All right, and that way I'm not constantly hounding people to get their work in. Okay, attendance. So a little bit more unpleasantness. Students who do not complete the attendance quiz miss more than 2 class meetings, which is in a web-based or hybrid format, which you're in a web-based. So if you miss more than 2 class meetings or consecutively miss 10% of your assignments, which is 3, or cumulatively miss 20% of your assignments, which is 6, you'll be administratively withdrawn from the course, receive a grade of a U, which is basically an F, and you'll carry 0 points on your GPA. So if you find yourself struggling to keep up with the class, or if something that you don't plan on happens, like if there's like if you get sick or a relative gets sick and you see that your grade's in jeopardy, it's in your best interest to withdraw yourself. Because if you withdraw yourself, it's like you were never even here. But if I do it, you were here, and it did not go well. All right, so just making you aware. Late work, let's say if, like going back to Conversions Lab 1, you can see in the bottom right corner that it's due on August 23rd. It opened yesterday, I believe, or probably today or yesterday, I can't remember. It's due on August 23rd. So let's say August 24th rolls around, and like getting down to the splitting hairs here, because I've had people fuss at me about this. That is August 23rd at 11:59 p.m. Okay, which does mean that at 12:00 on August 24th, it is late. Hard deadline, okay? But that's 7 days from now. I think you can hopefully find some time to get it done. But I had someone a couple of semesters ago message me at 1 o'clock in the morning. First of all, do not message me at 1 o'clock in the morning. What is the matter with you? I'm a human too. Good Lord. It even says in the syllabus, hours to contact me, 8 to 8. Yes, it's rude. And it makes me want to throw a brick. But I'm not going to, because I'm a professional. But yeah, they messaged me at 1 o'clock in the morning, and they said, I was working on my lab, and then it cut me off, and I couldn't get it turned in. I was like, well, yeah, because you started it at 11:30, the day it was due, when you had 8 days to get it done. You will get no tears from me. All right? Because this stuff is time-stamped, folks. I could, if someone told me, oh, I started it, and, my tire fell off my truck and hit a deer, and that hit another car, and blah, blah, blah. No, you did not. You started it the day it was due, 15 minutes before it was due. Don't lie to me. So, just spring was rough. We'll just put it that way. But anyway, So if you do miss a deadline, you can turn it in to me within a week for 20 points off. Okay? Now, that's 20 points off of a 50-point total. That's pretty steep. Okay? But it adds up over time. So you just got to make sure that you get it in there. Now, if you are going to turn it in late, you've got to send me a Moodle message. Okay, I'm not just automatically going to see that it's late and give you another shot. You've got to send me a message that says, hey, my dog fell in a wood chipper. I didn't get this turned in on time. Can I have another shot? Sure. Poor dog. Guys, I'm telling you, I have heard it all. I'm not even giving you the ones that I have actually heard. I'm just making this stuff up, but it's pretty close to what I've heard. You wouldn't believe the excuses to get sympathy for not turning in a math assignment. It is unbelievable. But anyway, so then if it's not turned in by the next class meeting, which that was for like a weekly class, so I do need to fix that. But if it's not turned in within another week, then it's just a 0. All right. Okay. Cheating and plagiarism policy. The old joke about why does the warning on a hair dryer say do not use this in the shower? Because somebody used it in the shower. That's why I've got this in here. Okay? Don't team up on this. Okay? Don't get with a buddy and work this out. And definitely do not upload 2 copies of the same work under 2 different names. Or copy somebody else's and upload it. Okay? Just don't. Because the first time that you get a 0 on a lab, it's just a 0 on it. I'll put a note in there that says, hey, you got a 0. Your answers are the same as somebody else's. I ain't calling you. I ain't emailing you. I'm not bringing you to my office. It's just a 0 and I'm moving on. Plain and simple. Okay? Second offense, you're gone. And I haven't gotten to this extreme just yet. But hopefully this year we won't. If it's a test, you get a 0 on both the work entry and answer entry portions. It should say both portions that you did. This is the old part of the syllabus. And then, of course, the second one is you're gone. And that is Tri-County policy. First time's a warning, second time you're gone. All right. Redoing labs. We kind of previously talked about this. This isn't necessarily late work. This is like, say, we're at the midterm or like we're at fall break and you see some grades that you actually did turn in on time, but you just kind of skunked it, right? You just didn't really go well the way that you wanted it to, or maybe it did, and maybe you're just trying to get full credit on it. Could be the case too. So at the midterm, I will let you redo everything that we have assigned up to that point. But after the midterm, no. All right, so after the midterm, everything before that, that is your grade for it. And then from the midterm on to the final, you can redo those towards the end of the year. All right, so in other words, on December 10th, do not request a redo on Conversions Lab 1. You are not going to get an answer you appreciate. Okay? And this is also because that's the way I'm not constantly going in, like digging through old assignments, putting assignments in. It's, it's just a headache. Classroom etiquette, hybrid, web-based. This should not need to be in the syllabus. But again, hair dryer in the shower. All right? Be mindful of others around you and your instructor. Constant talking, unnecessary interruptions, and monopolization of the instructor's time will not be tolerated. Monopolization of the instructor's time, if you don't know what that is, that means if someone in the class earns the nickname of Questions Johnson and just keeps asking questions so that nobody else can, that's a no-no. Okay? Definitely ask me questions, but don't do it to the point where nobody else can. Okay? Everybody needs a fair shot. First offense is a warning. Second result, out you go. Just for the day, though, not from the whole class. Moodle Messenger etiquette. If you need to contact me on Moodle Messenger with a question about the course, first of all, please adhere to the following hours of operation. Fall and spring semester, that's y'all, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday. And I have my Outlook on my phone set up to where if you send me a message on Sunday, I will not get it until Monday. All right? So same thing here. If you send me a message at 8:01 on Tuesday, I'm not getting it until 8 o'clock on Wednesday morning. All right? Contrary to popular belief, Tri-County instructors do have lives outside of class. So, I've got to learn how to manage that. But, as long as it's within those hours of operation, you're good. And then code of conduct. Remember, Moodle Messenger keeps a record for the college of all correspondence between two parties using Moodle Messenger, whether you're talking to me or if you're messaging another student. As such, see, I copied this from 110. I forgot to change it for 143, but it still applies. Just, don't be sending messages to me or another student that the FBI is going to be asking you about later. Okay? It's all recorded. All right? And then along those same lines, I'm not going to send you a message that says, what the F were you thinking on Conversions Lab 2? That's just dumb. So don't do that. Disability services. Tri-County complies with all provisions of the Americans with Disabilities Act. It makes reasonable accommodations upon request. If you have a documented disability that may require special accommodations, please contact the Director of Enrollment Management to assist you at the beginning of the course. This information will be kept confidential. I don't know if that is still his official title, but if you have accommodations and you've not met with him yet, you want to go see Mr. Kendrick McDonald over in the Harper Building. Copyright policy. Okay, again, hairdryer in the shower. Do not take anything out of this class, out of this classroom, and try to, whether you're just adding it to your personal collection or if you're going to sell it to try to make some money. Okay? That's why these calculators do not leave this room. And that's why they're up here with me too. You know how hard it is to get calculators bought? I tried to buy 5 one time and they told me that the funds for the calculators have been used for something else. I was like, you only got $80? All right. But anyway, so, and in this building, we have had issues with that before. Okay? Issues with theft. So do not be taking anything out of this classroom unless it's something I gave to you. The Go Figure initiative, this was created to help improve first-year success in gatekeeper math because we noticed that a lot of folks are waiting until the semester before they graduated to get their math requirements in, and they did not do as well in them as someone who took them right away and got them done. Okay? So you might be seeing surveys or questionnaires throughout the semester about that, just letting you know. Also, part of that is our math center, which is located back here. Like, you came in this way, if you look straight down the hall, that's our math center. If you want to be enrolled in the, let me get it pulled up here. We have an online Math Center Moodle page. If you want to be enrolled in that, you just shoot me a message and I'll get you in there. And what this will do, where on earth is it? Did I pass it already? Nope, there it is. For some reason, it's all the way down there at the bottom. And what we'll do is get you enrolled in there so that you can meet up with Miss Hannah Bailey. There it is. She is our 143 peer ambassador or math tutor. We have not started running the Math Center yet because there's no assignments open just yet. But once we do have her schedule, I'll post that. It'll be posted out on the door. And then if you want enrolled in this, shoot me a message. I'll put you in there. And then you can go here to the 143 tutoring section. And you can either post a homework question. Do not post test questions. She knows which ones they are. I know which ones they are. I wrote them. But you can post questions here to get help from either her or someone else that's still in the class as well. But to set up an appointment with her, you can message her directly. Well, I don't want to click on that, but you go here to users, and she'll be one of the admins, and you just shoot her a message like, hey, are you going to be on campus during this day, or can you double check number 5 on this lab, whichever way you need to go. But that is another resource that you have available too. I will say this though, since we do have a higher volume of math students this year, Once you come, get your help, and then leave, make sure that that's it. Don't hang around. Okay? We want to try to get as many folks through there as possible. And historically, we've had some folks that will come to the Math Center, get their help, and then want to start talking about the rest of their day, which is fine, not when someone's waiting behind you to get help. So just, be mindful of that. We're all about efficiency. All right, so go to the Moodle course. I think we're pretty much done with the syllabus. Were there any questions about the syllabus? We went through it pretty quick. I tried to go through the unpleasant nature of some things pretty quickly, but I mean, that's just the way of it. All right, let's close that out. Okay, so real quick, up here at the top, class information. This is a 16-week-long course. I do have some courses that start later, but that's not this one. So most of the time, you'll have 8 days to do an assignment. Sometimes it'll be 7, but it'll be 7 minimum. So that way, if you have, if you need extra time, or if you work a full time job, you can get that squeezed in there. We talked about late grades. Again, if you have a late lab that you want reopened, you have to let me know. It does not happen automatically. You got to send me a Moodle message that says, hey, can I, do this one for a late grade? All right. And then, of course, we talked about the Moodle Messenger guidelines again, and the corrections and the redos. I've got it in 2 places. That way, it's twice as easy to find. Okay. So, attendance quiz. All right. The attendance quiz has a due date. And I know this is kind of cruel, but if you don't do the attendance quiz by the due date, all right, we have to. It's just it's a thing. So 4 of you have already got it done. It's a syllabus crawl. Okay, so you'll open up the syllabus, go through there, answer questions. I think there's only 10 questions. So some of the questions are like super easy, so you'll be okay. But nah. But it's mainly just to help you find your way through the syllabus. All right. The textbook. Okay. So here is your PDF link for the 143 textbook. It's called Using and Understanding Mathematics, a Quantitative Reasoning Approach. If you do prefer having a physical, tangible textbook, this is what it looks like. Okay, let me switch that over for the online. Oops. So yeah, if you want to have a physical textbook, this is what it looks like. It's the green background with a soccer player. All right, and like we said, it's the 6th edition. It's a little bit on the old side. It is kind of hard to find, but the good news about it being an older book is it's less expensive. But you can tell everybody's hopping on the internet because usually that just pops right up. But it is a textbook too. Yeah, so this is your PDF of your book. We'll scroll through there. All right. Now I provided this for some of the reasons that we mentioned earlier. It was just hard to find, but also because there's some tables in here that we use for our labs, and I wanted to make sure that everybody had access to it, and on the first day weren't waiting. There's a lot of bibliography junk to get through here, but yeah, it's pretty good. Let's fit the width. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. I really would not print this. All right, definitely don't print it while you're here. Okay, we have page limits on some of our printers. But yeah, if you have this, everything's pretty much digital these days anyway. So there's that for you. Everybody's got access to it now. That is the wrong class. All right. Yeah, it's just slow into a crawl. Okay, so syllabus, textbook. So what's due on the 23rd? Well, we know the first thing that's due on the 23rd is our attendance quiz. Now, in the spring, the reason why this says test group selection is because in the spring, I had a actual, group selector module in there where you went in and you picked your test group based on what month you were born in. Silly me, relying on people to be honest. It turns out I've got, best friends in the same test group. Like, oh, he'll never know. He'll never check that. So I pick it now. I haven't done it yet. I'll do it before the first test because there's 4 editions of each test, just to, make sure that nobody's, misbehaving. All right, so Conversions Lab 1 should be open now as well. Yeah, it's right here. Again, okay? For Pete's sake, go away. The answer entry is the only part of this that you absolutely 100% have to do. But again, if you just go through the whole year only doing the answer parts, you're not going to pass. Okay? So you're going to have to do at least some of the work entries. And I do grade those. It's not an automatic 50 points. I'll go in there and I'll look, make sure that, that everything's okay. And if you missed something on there, I will tell you why. All right? You'll get rewarded for your extra effort. All right? And again, it's super easy. You just write it out on a piece of paper. I cannot emphasize that enough. You write it on a piece of paper for the online folks. And then you take a picture of it somehow. Okay? Please do not type it up in a Word document. Okay? Unfortunately, we live in the age of AI. If you send me something typed up, I don't know if you did it. I don't know if AI did it. All right? So please make sure that you're hand writing it. And along that same line, don't put it in ChatGPT and then copy down on paper what ChatGPT said. I don't know if it's not my work. Come on. It's just so much easier to just do the work than spend all that extra energy trying to find ways around it. I don't understand people's brains sometimes. But, so in this Conversions Lab, you can see like here, this is from back in the spring. I had a lot of folks that still didn't have the textbook yet. So I had to copy and paste this table in there so that everybody could have it. And then throughout the year, we'll be uploading pictures of examples that I do on the board. I'll be recording videos of all the lessons, mainly because my early videos for some of these sections, they didn't record. It took me a long time to figure out how to get it to work properly. So we'll be re-recording those as well. So just be aware of that. And then so each week we'll be in here going through things. All right. Every time we do an example, I'll take a picture of it and I'll pop it up in the Moodle because maybe, these old ones, maybe they're just not good enough. Maybe there's something that we talked about that wasn't covered in one of the old pictures. My advice to you as well is that whenever I do get the videos uploaded after class, which is usually about an hour after, go back and rewatch those. If there was something that you didn't get the first time, go somewhere where you've got internet that'll pull those up and rewatch the video, walk through the lesson in real time again, and that'll help you out immensely as well. So like see here is the recording from the first lesson. It won't look this bad when you pull it up. I've gotten a lot better with my hardware and my programs that I use and everything. So it should not be all blurry and grainy and everything like this. I'm leaving these in here for now though because it's all I got. But hopefully on Monday we'll get some better ones recorded and I can get rid of these. But anyway, so yeah, going back up to the top. Now, this is the only section I think where the assignment is at the top of the module. All the rest of them, you've got to set it up to where you have to at least scroll through all my resources. Well, except for that one, I lied. But after this one, you have to at least scroll through all my resources to find everything that we uploaded. Okay? You got a lot of tools that I've put in here to help you pass this class. I know that most of the time people hear 143 and they start sweating a little bit. But it'll be fine, I promise. As long as you participate, do your work, take good notes, don't cheat off nobody, don't fall behind. I mean, you see how many ways you have to try to fail my class? I'm really doing this for you. Okay? Any questions? Okay. On Monday, when we come in, we will be walking through Conversions Lab 1 and probably Conversions Lab 2. We'll definitely get all the way through Conversions Lab 1 and probably just like start Conversions Lab 2. All right? And like I said, we'll be re-recording lessons, trying to get everything updated. Oh, announcements. I knew I was forgetting something. When there's something that I need to tell the whole class, this is where I put it. If you have a smartphone, it is in your best interest to A, download Microsoft Outlook, B, sign into Microsoft Outlook with your Tri-County email, and C, have notifications turned on. Because this way, if we say if we get some bad weather, and I send out an announcement that says, hey, roads are bad, campus is closed, no class, that's how it's coming. It's going to go through here. And that way, if you've got it signed in on your smartphone, you'll get an alert because it sends you an email. All right? And so just make sure you got that. Or like say if it's if I did a problem wrong in class. I know, perish the thought, the math teacher got something wrong. But like say if I did something wrong and I needed to post a correction to it, that's where it's going, is announcements. All right? So if someone comes in and says, oh, I didn't see that, you don't have it set up on your phone. I'm just kidding. But probably. All right. So any questions? I know we kind of sped through things there really quick. Again, I can't stress it enough. If something comes up that you know is going to prevent you from getting your work done, it is in your best interest to let me know ahead of time so that I don't just think that you've, gone missing at Mount Rainier or something. All right? All right. Well, it's nice to meet you all. Don't forget that when you come in on Monday, you're going to probably, most of you, be in different seats until I learn everybody's name. Because right now, I only know the ones that I've had classes with before. Sorry. All right. Have a great rest of the day. I'm going to go get this uploaded into Moodle.